And here it is. Honesty in relationships.
Oh.
Ironic, isn't it? And it's a long one, so sorry, it's going to be a little long-winded. Honesty in relationships. We can be honest and direct about our boundaries in relationships and about the perimeters of a particular relationship. Perhaps no area of our life reflects our uniqueness and individuality in recovery more than our relationships. Some of us are in a committed relationship. Some of us are dating. Some of us are not dating. Some of us are living with someone. Some of us wish we were dating. Some of us wish we were in a committed relationship. Some of us get into new relationships after recovery. Some of us stay in the relationship we were in before we began recovery. We have other relationships too. We have friendships, relationships with children, with parents, with extended family. We have professional relationships, relationships with people on the job. We need to be able to be honest and direct in our relationships. One area we can be honest and direct about in the perimeters of our relationships. We can define our relationships to people, an idea written about by Charlotte Castle and others, and we can ask them to be honest and direct about defining their vision of the relationship with us. It is confusing to be in relationships and not know where we stand, whether this is on the job, in a friendship, with family members, or in a love relationship. We have a right to be direct about how we define the relationship, what we want it to be. But relationships equal two people who have equal rights. The other person needs to be able to define the relationship too. We have a right to know and ask. So do they. Honesty is the best policy. Sure is. We can set boundaries. If someone wants a more intense relationship than we do, we can be clear and honest about what we want, about what our intended level of participation. We can tell the person what to reasonably expect from us because that is what we want to give. How the person deals with that is his or her issue. Whether or not we tell the person is ours. We can set boundaries and define friendships when those cause confusion. We can even define relationships with children if those relationships have gotten sticky and exceeded our perimeters. That's sticky. We need to define love relationships and what that means to each person. We have to make our own definitions and have our own expectations. So does the other person. Honesty and directness is the only policy. Sometimes we don't know what we want in a relationship. Sometimes the other person doesn't know. But the sooner we can define a relationship with the other person's help, the sooner we can decide on an appropriate course of conduct for ourselves. The clearer we can become on defining relationships, the more we can take care of ourselves in that relationship. We have a right to our boundaries, wants, and needs. So does the other person. We cannot force someone to be in a relationship or to participate at a level we desire if he or she does not want to. All of us have a right not to be forced. Information is a powerful tool, and having the information about what a particular relationship is, the boundaries and definition of it, will empower us to take care of ourselves in it. Relationships take a while to form, but at some point, we can reasonably expect a clear definition of what that relationship is and what the boundaries of it are. If the definitions clash, we are free to make a new decision based on appropriate information about what we need to do to take care of ourselves. Today, I will strive for clarity and directness in my relationships. If I now have some relationships that are murky and ill-defined, and if I have given them adequate time to form, I will begin to take action to define that relationship. God help me to let go of my fears about defining and understanding the nature of my present relationships. Guide me into clarity, clear, healthy thinking. Help me know what I want is okay. Help me know that if I can't get that from the other person, what I want is still okay, but not possible at the present time. Help me learn to not forego what I want and need, but empower me to make appropriate, healthy choices about where to get that. Okay, so this is a really interesting thing. So, okay, let me just say, I have a couple things I want to know. So I have a couple things I want to say about this. So, so I have been in a lot of different relationships. So my last relationship with Axay was very murky. I never knew where I stood. It was a roller coaster. It was always, I felt like I was, like I really, I always felt so confused. And, I never knew what was going on. And I mean, it was the worst feeling that I have ever felt in my life. And I gotta say that the confusion, and the isolation and the gaslighting and just the unknown, it made me fearful, I guess, because I just didn't, I felt like I was trying to hold on to something that I didn't know. I wanted it so badly, but I didn't even really know what I wanted, because I guess it's just so hard. I still don't understand. I still don't even really know. It's hard for me to explain because it was so fucking weird. Like it was just so weird what he did to me. And I've been watching a lot of reels and stuff from Jay Shetty. He is he's a really smart guy. He has a podcast, and he's really, really smart. I really like him a lot, and he's got some reels that I've been kind of watching and stuff. And he says things like, "Forgive yourself for allowing someone to not love you the way that you deserve to love, and forgive yourself for being fooled by someone that didn't love you the way that you deserved it, the way that, and for tricking you, and gaslighting you, and just all that." And it just hits home for what Axay did to me. And I guess I hadn't forgiven myself for allowing Axay to do all those things to me. And I've been watching those. They've been coming across my phone on TikTok and Instagram today and yesterday. And it's just ironic, the timing. But anyways, I really appreciate those reels because I didn't forgive myself. And I've kind of been hard on myself about it because I didn't understand, because I feel like I'm a really strong person, and I'm like, God dang it, how did that happen? Like, what in the hell was I thinking? Did I get abducted by aliens? And what, like, everybody that knows me is like, that didn't happen to you. Like, what? And I still don't understand how it happened. But it did. And he made me look like a fool, and I feel like a fool. And, it happened so fast, and it happened for so long. And I even looked different during that period of time. I mean, I gained a bunch of weight. I quit taking care of myself. I just was a whole different human being. And, so when I see those reels, and I am starting to forgive myself. So Jay Shetty, shout out to Jay Shetty. Thank you for those reels, because I'm starting to forgive myself. And it really means a lot to me because I guess I didn't realize that I was holding so much hurt and guilt and shame still towards myself, and anger towards myself for allowing myself to let that happen.
Yeah, to be in a situation.
To let that happen. Yeah. Because I hurt you, I hurt Van, and I hurt other people, I mean, I wasn't the only victim. I hurt other people. I hurt Rick. I hurt, my other kids, because I isolated, it wasn't a victimless situation. I wasn't the only person that got hurt. And so, anyways, it just means a lot to me to be able to forgive myself. And so, anyways, so I have a lot to think about, about this situation, about this brings up a lot of stuff. And so, yeah, forgiving yourself is a huge deal. So if you're out there and you are having a situation where you need to be honest in your relationships, and you need to set some boundaries or whatever, and you're questioning your relationships, and you don't know where you stand or whatever, have a hard conversation. My suggestion is to sit down with the people, because I think that if I would have done that right away with Axay, I would have never been in that situation. From the jump, if I would have had a hard conversation with him 2 weeks in, then it would have never lasted 5.5 years. It would have been over within 10 minutes. He would have never passed the hard 5-minute conversation, So I really would hope for you guys to have hard conversations with people, so that you can, weed out the people that you need to weed out, and keep the good ones that you want to keep, and make good decisions for yourself, and just do what's right for you. Do what's right for you, and follow your heart. And when your gut is telling you something, we are mammals that have sixth sense, right? Didn't you tell me that we're the only mammals that don't listen to our sixth sense? Isn't that true?
I don't know if I've ever said that, but
I think that's true. We human beings are the only mammals that don't listen to our sixth sense, and that's insane. When your gut is telling you something, listen to it, and hear that, and don't question it. That is your innate sense. That's your judgment. That is your innate sense telling you that something is wrong. So listen to it. Don't question it. And don't ask other people if what you're sensing is wrong. Just go with it and run like hell. Don't question yourself. Just believe it and use that red flag. And sayonara, sweetheart. That's what I'm going to do from now on. I'll tell you what, if I would have listened to my sixth sense.
We don't have a sixth sense, actually.
Well, if I would have listened to my
gut,
my gut, if I would have listened to my gut, my intuition, I would have saved myself so much time and energy. And
basically be alert. And
no. Or if I would have listened to my dog. My dog hated him.
See, that's the sixth sense, the dog.
My dog hated him. If I would have just listened to Tazzy, oh boy.
His ears are perking up.
He's perking up. Now his little tail's wagging. If I would have just listened to my little Tazzy, we would have been safe from Axay. Anyways, no. But yeah, so anyways, that's all I got with that. So anyways, I just want you guys to know that God loves you, and there is a perfect person out there for you. And there's a plan, and I know there's a plan for me, and God will bring me my best friend that's hot. I know He will someday when I'm ready. He will. And until then, I'm just going to keep doing the right thing, and I am going to continue to be in recovery, and I'm going to continue to make these podcasts, and I'm going to continue to love my dog, love my family, and love my turtle,
And plants.
and love my plants.
Yeah.
George, the banana tree. Have yourself the best day ever. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Take care.
Take care.